Good afternoon, Facebookers. I'm Gabe Toth from Gabe Toth Music Instruction and Coaching Online LLC. Bear with me as I am new to this. This is day 3 where I'm actually going live with an online lesson. So I'm gonna have to figure out the computer because I realize yesterday's lesson the whiteboard is backwards. So when I was showing you C all the time, it looked like E. Oh, so that's always something. My goodness. And yes, it is today. It was supposed to say February 2nd on the. I'm figuring all this stuff out. Trial and error, mostly error, but we figure it out eventually. But now, we're starting the basics of music theory, and I'm giving you tips that use numbers and patterns, okay, to help you retain that. And when I say this is a very important point, I would suggest jotting that down. So, a quick review from yesterday. What did we learn? Things that are very important. We covered C to C, okay? We know that there's only 7 letters in the musical alphabet, A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Then it starts over again, okay? So, what we did was we made the major scale C, starting with C. So you go from C to the next time you're at C, putting every letter down, okay? No letters repeat, okay? And of course, we're never going to have a sharp in a flat key or a flat in a sharp key. Okay, so that's a couple things there to remember. And 2 other very important things. This is very important. This is the reason why we have the accidentals, which are sharps, flats, and naturals. Okay, let me show you there's the sharp, there's the flat, and there is the natural sign. So I just made those 3 signs real quick. The sharp looks like a tic-tac-toe sign, okay, which raises a note a half step, okay. A flat, okay, which is the B looking like thing, that lowers a tone a half step. Natural cancels out the sharp or a flat. Okay, again, those 3 things are called accidentals. So, 2 important things that you cannot forget, okay, before you figure out the key signatures. We did C to C, and we figured out that from looking at the piano, and this is backwards, but those of you, we have the note before the 2 black keys, which is C. So we go C, D, E, F, G. There's no H. We start at A again. A, B, C. So that's our C major scale. C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C. It goes in the order of the 7-letter alphabet, okay, from A to G. And that's very important that you remember that, okay? There's no H's, no K's, no L's, no M's. Next important point, looking at the notes next to each other, okay? E to F, B to C. General rule of default thumb are a half step away from each other. Whereas all the other letters to the next letter, like A to B, okay, G to A, F to G, C to D, D to E, okay, those are all whole steps, okay, and I use the piano as a reference because you can see where E to F and B to C are. It's the 2 places where there are no black keys between the white keys. Again, E to F and B to C are the 2 places on the piano where there are no black keys in between the white keys. Okay? Why is this so important? Because of that major scale formula. Whole, whole, half, whole, 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 half. So write that down. E to F and B to C are half steps, and the makeup of the major scale is whole, whole, half, whole, 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 half. Now we're going to take G and we're going to start on G now. So write down G to G, just letters, G, A, B, C, D, E, F, G. And that's what we have here. So now we want to follow the formula. Okay? So we want whole, whole, half, whole, 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 half. So first we have whole, G to A, we're good. Okay, then we want another whole step, A to B, we're good. Then what's next in the formula? A half step, okay? B to C, we're good, okay? What's next in the formula? Whole step, C to D, we're good, okay? We want two more wholes and one half, okay? So D to E, we're good, okay? We want another whole step from E, E to F, we want a whole step here, but E to F is only a half step apart. Remember that general rule I told you? So we have to do something to one of these notes so that we have a whole step away from E. So we're going to take the F, which is only a half step away from E, and we're going to put a sharp there, and we're going to raise it a half step. So now we have, it's backwards, but anyway, so now we have F sharp. E to F sharp is a whole step. And then we're left with the whole half step, which goes F sharp to G. So now, what does this tell us? The key of G has one sharp in it. So when you see a piece of music and you look at the treble clef and you see this next to the treble clef, then that means, oh, that song's going to be in the key of G major, or we'll get to this later too, the relative minor. Okay, that's another story. But this is the key of G. Why? Because the key of G has one sharp, because we built it going from G to G, okay, with the accidental, the sharp. Okay, so that's how we get the key of G. Now we're going to do a flat key, and then we're just going to leave the lesson there because I don't want to be too overwhelming for you. Okay, and I want you to come back tomorrow, or at least watch the recording. Okay, so now we're going to do key of F. So we go F, G, A, B, C, D, E, F. So remember, the sharp raises a note a half step. The flat lowers the note a half step. E to F and B to C are half step apart, where all the other letters are a full step. Okay? So now, starting with F, we want to go whole step. Whole, half, whole, half. Whole step from F, we have G. We're good. Whole step from G, we have A. We're good. Now we want to go a half step from A. A to B is a full step, though. But we need that to only be a half step from A. So what are we going to do? We're going to lower the B a half step. Okay? So now we have our whole from F to G, whole G to A, half A to B flat. Okay? And then we need whole, half again. B flat to C is whole. C to D is whole. D to E is whole. And then we end with our half step from E to F. Okay? So that's how we get the key of F when we see a piece of music and we look at the treble clef, and it has the flat next to it. One flat is the key of F because of what? The makeup of the formula: whole, whole, half, whole, 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 half. Okay? Now, as I learn more about navigating around all of this computer stuff, because I've gone global and there's so much stuff to do on the internet, and I may even, I've signed up affiliate and Amazon influencers, so you're probably going to see advertisements on here, and I'm probably going to soup stuff up and, you know, maybe record from my new studio, and but I'm starting out, and if you know, I'm asking you to, you know, give support. And what I'm doing is I have a full-time tutoring business where I've been teaching on and off for 30 years, okay, in a, you know, a one-on-one at music stores or at homes, my home, my studio. I was Centenary University's music director and adjunct faculty for about 5 years. So I was a college professor for about 5 years, and yeah, so the teaching's been, that's kind of what I've always done when there wasn't a gig contract, or I wasn't on a cruise ship, or anything like that, or touring, or whatever. So, but every day I plan on giving you a little lesson of some sort, whether it be music theory, ear training, piano, guitar, bass. We'll just, you know, cover a lot of different stuff. And if you have any questions, feel free to question. I think I have the questions and answers box open. Okay, so Gabe Toth Music Instruction. I do take personal clients. 1 hour a week for vocals and a half hour a week for every other instrument. Give me a direct message, spread the word. You can have it online, or if you're in the lower Nazareth area, I have a nice teaching studio. So I hope to hear from you, and stay in touch, and please stop by tomorrow for part 3, because we're going to cover triads. What are triads? Well, gee, keep your notebook out, and we're going to have some fun. Have a great day. Bye-bye.